my challenge is this. If your church has a English sermon time, English service, and your Sunday school is at the same time as your children's English service, my challenge is that once a month, go to their service. So you have something to talk about with them at home. Um, that's always my suggestion, because you can go to their language service, they can't go to yours. So I would say a big part of that is that then it helps you as well. Like, oh, okay, well, hey, the pastor today, oh, your pastor said da, 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 today. Like, oh, how can mom do this? How can dad do this at home this week? And how can we encourage each other to do this? And how can we do that? Does that, that's a free one, right? Like if you already have an English pastor, but if English service, so once a month, go visit the English service. Yeah, that costs you nothing but your time, and you're already at church anyways. So,
And one of the beauties of some of these churches is those set services are staggered. And so being able to go to that service, talk with your kids. Currently, we put up questions in English. I put up questions in English service for congregants to take home and to talk about them at home. We started to position our services to preach in the general same area. Right now, our church is going through the book of Acts. And so parents can talk to their kids and ask questions. But picking off of Pastor Josh's is ask questions. Ask questions of your kids. I think a lot of times when you're having conversations, they end up being like lectures. And asking what your kids really think and being careful, right? Not to judge quickly, but asking more questions to investigate more, understand more, and acknowledging the good things that they are saying. Asking clarifications of things that maybe you don't understand or that seem strange or are contradictory, and trying to help them to work out the words as well, I think is very beneficial.
Yeah, and I don't mean like you have to sit next to them and try to embarrass them, but I think it's like just sit with the other parents. Invite other parents and say, hey, our kids are in youth group together. Let's go to the English service at least once a month, right? And this way, we can have conversations with them. That to me is a big one. We have a question here. As a youth pastor, what is your biggest challenge that you're facing right now? I don't know, Victor, I'm dealing with college kids more, but yeah, I guess they're kind of youth, but Victor, what's the biggest?
Yeah, so like I guess some of it is like what's personally, right? I think Josh and I have talked about marriage a little bit, and like that's one of the challenges we're working through, because I think we grow up as like hardworking restaurant kids, and so going into church was also that, and so switching over to married life and trying to prioritize that time, I know has been a really big challenge for me. And guess what? Your kids are learning the same stuff because your kids are also being pushed in their time. Maybe your kids are going to bed super late because they're just so overburdened with stuff. Learning how to rest well, learning how to rest in the Lord well for ministry has been a huge lesson that I've been trying to learn, especially recently dating and now into marriage. And this is not laziness, but it's good and proper rest and trust in the Lord while being faithful and responsible in the task that I have. I think too is there's a push and pull between parents and youth ministries, where the reality is like youth pastors want you, parents, and even parents who are empty nesters or parents who are retired, to enter into youth ministry, to partner with the pastor. They don't have to be your kids, and I think one of the difficult things is recently is things like finding volunteers, teaching Sunday school. But these are all activities. But really, it's the partnership, and sometimes, honestly, a youth pastor feels lonely. For the Asian youth pastor, sometimes it feels like parents are expect you to do it the Chinese way. Oh, you're the youth pastor, you should know this, so you should push this with our kids. And then the Caucasian pastor is kind of like, well, you don't know our culture, so just take care of the kids, and we don't want to, we're not going to talk to you about stuff. So there's this kind of cultural pull there. I think sometimes is in the mix that can be difficult. And I've learned a lot of lessons from Pastor Josh over the years. You know, when somebody says, "Hey, Pastor, this is a great idea. I think we should do this." Okay, let's pray about it and let me know when you wanna volunteer for that. I think that's fine. That's very good and wise words. Yeah, yeah. So some of the other challenges are like, man, my heart breaks. And I hope you know this. I hope parents, you'll know this, kids, you'll know this too. But my heart breaks when I hear of kids walking away. And know that I love your kids. Know that your youth pastor loves your kids, and you're not enemies. You're actually partners, and I hope you'll understand that.
Amen.
It breaks our hearts, you know, and it's not because we're the pastor. It's because we really do love them. Yeah, and I hope you know that as well.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges that I see in like ministry right now is the oversaturation of technology. Like there's just too much. Like if this was 5 years ago, you know, me and Pastor Jeff would have flew out to see you guys, you know, somewhere, and Columbus, right? Because you know if Victor's there, and so technology is good. I'm not saying don't use technology, but it's the oversaturation of technology. So that's going to be a hard one in the near future. Yeah, their entire life is online, and so yeah, like use technology, but it's a tool, right? So tools, that's just what I see. It's this hyper addiction. They're together separately. Everybody's in a circle. Everybody's looking at their own phone. Everybody's doing their own thing. And that's in the church, you know, lobby, right? Everybody is standing in a circle looking at their own phone. And that's hard. That's really tough. And then the depression that comes with it, because they're seeing people have this, people have that, and they don't. You know, so social media, those are some of the things that, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, instead of being a tool for building community, it becomes a substitute for it. And like, yeah, I mean, oh, we're online playing video games together. That's a kind of community, right? And the reality is it's not. You know, it's an activity they're doing together, but they're not really growing to love each other well. There's teamwork involved, sure, but it can often be that addiction level, or that to that point where it's not a tool, it's a substitute.